I'm begging you to manage your calories before it's too late. And I know begging sounds dramatic, but I need you to understand something that is so critical. At the time of making this video, it is December. And right now you're standing at a fork in the road. Most men will use the next few weeks as an excuse for holiday parties, family dinners, Christmas celebrations, and they'll tell themselves, I'll start in January when things calm down. And by January the 15th, they're exactly where they are right now, except now they're 5 pounds heavier and starting from scratch. But here's what I've learned after coaching hundreds and hundreds of executives. December isn't the month to take off. It's the best time to get ahead of the curve because in January, it is too late to get started. Let's be real, right? And while everyone else is coasting and making excuses, you can build the foundations and develop the habits that will define your entire 2026. And no, that doesn't mean missing Christmas dinner with your family or skipping corporate holiday events, right? In this video, I'm going to go through and share with you some exclusive insights I give my private clients about how to still enjoy their food during the holiday season, the festive meals, the business dinners, and the celebrations with loved ones without falling off track, right? And this is not about deprivation. This is about suffering through December. This is about being strategic so you can enjoy the holidays and walk into January already winning, right? If you're ready to stop making excuses and start building momentum, let's jump into it. So the first crucial shift you need to make is to set a clear, specific calorie target and not just eat healthy, not just watch what I eat, an actual number. I know this sounds simple, but what does that actually mean in December when there's food everywhere, right? If you don't have a real calorie target, then you're not going to know where your boundaries are, and therefore you're just going to eat reactively, right? You'll show up every party, every dinner, every celebration, not knowing if you're on track or completely derailing yourself, right? So for example, let's say you know you want to maintain your body weight through December or even lose a few pounds. That's one goal. Like you want to not gain a typical holiday 7 to 10 pounds, but if you don't know your actual calorie target to hit that goal, then you're just going to wander around aimlessly at the Christmas buffet hoping that you're making good choices, but you're never going to know if you're actually on track, right? And this is a big problem. And that's the exact same situation most professionals are in right now, right? You know you don't want to gain weight during the holidays, but because you don't have a specific target set, you're just pretending you're being careful. But in reality, you have no idea where you want to stand. So you want to ditch the useless goals like saying, I'm going to eat better this month. That's going to be honestly pointless for your journey, right? You want to be specific and be realistic as possible. Don't say, I'm going to eat 1,200 calories through the holidays while attending 5 different parties. Obviously, that's just not going to work. And instead, it's going to set you back because you're going to feel anxious and deprived that you'll be binge eating probably, right? And what you want to do instead is to calculate your actual maintenance calories. For most executives, that's body weight times 14 to 15, and then decide on your approach, right? So I'm going to give you a few options here. So option A is to maintain your body weight through December. So you don't gain, you don't lose, you just maintain. Then there's option B, which is a small deficit of 200 to 300 calories below maintenance to slowly lose whilst you're on holiday. And then option C is strategic banking, right? Eat in a deficit Monday to Thursday, bank your calories for the weekend events, right? Let's say you're a 200-pound executive, your maintenance is probably 2,800 to 3,000 calories. And then there's option A, right? You hit 2,800 to 3,000 calories daily and you maintain that through December. And then there's option B, 2,500 to 2,600 calories, right? You probably lose 1 to 2 pounds. And option C, right? You just bank them all throughout the weeks. And by the time the weekend is, you're probably eating 3,000 to 4,000 calories, right? And this way, you give yourself a framework that allows you to be flexible whilst keeping yourself accountable, right? And you feel like you'll be winning whilst you're tracking. And secondly, it breaks down the vague goals of don't gain weight into very specific, tangible numbers that you can actually monitor day by day, right? Once you have that target, it makes it a lot easier for you to make decisions. Should I have that second serving of dinner? Let me check my tracker. Do I have room for dessert tonight? Let me see where I'm at, right? These small things are going to help, right? And this is what calorie awareness was. And that's the one thing that changed everything for my clients during the holidays, right? When they didn't track, they were literally all over the place. Some days starving themselves, other days completely overindulging. And it meant they were on an emotional roller coaster and they left their holidays heavier and frustrated by January. But by tracking their calories, even loosely, they started to see patterns, right? They could fit their holiday celebrations into their week without derailing everything or any of their progress. For example, if you have a corporate Christmas dinner on Tuesday evening and you know that you're going to be eating a big meal, appetizer, steak, wine, dessert, probably 2,000 calories for that dinner alone, but you also have a family Christmas party on Saturday, then how you're going to plan that week is literally to build your calories around those two events, right? Monday, 2,200 calories, right? Eat below 300 below your maintenance, right? Tuesdays, 3,200, right? Track everything, right? And then it hits Wednesday, 2,200 as well, back to the structure. Thursday, 2,200, right? Friday, 2,400, right? Moderate day. And then Saturday, 2,500, right? Then Sunday, 2,400. So these small things, and this is for the £200 executive, by the way, right? So these small things are gonna help, right? So your weekly goal is probably around 18,000 calories, right? So the net is 1,500 calorie deficit for the week, despite those two big celebrations, right? And you see what just happened there. You enjoyed two major holiday events and you were still in a deficit for the week. That's how professionals navigate December without gaining weight, right? This honestly makes the holidays a lot less overwhelming, so it gives it a go, right? Go and give it a go, guys. Now for section 2, I'm going to give you the hard truth. Not tracking your calories during December is what's screwing you over, right? Simple as that, right? You think tracking will make your holidays miserable, restrictive, but it's not the case. You don't ruin Christmas dinner just from weighing your food for 30 seconds. Just because you're tracking doesn't mean you can't enjoy yourself, right? You can't enjoy yourself, and that's something that a lot of people do think, and that's the exact misconception that's keeping you stuck, right? So what you get instead when you don't track is just anxiety, guilt, and you end up feeling so miserable because you're constantly worried. Did I eat too much? Should I have skipped that? Oh God, I'm probably gonna gain too much weight right now. And those are the things that you probably do think about during this time of the year, right? And you end up spiraling out of control, simple as that. And instead you worry about constantly, and you lose the ability to actually enjoy the celebrations because you're obsessed over every single bite, right? When you deliberately track your intake, even just roughly, you actually get freedom. You know exactly where you stand. You can make intentional decisions, right? You eliminate that guilt, right? In that case, you get in control. And I just want to say, this is counterintuitive, but it really is, right? People who track during December enjoy the holidays more because they're not carrying that constant anxiety and guilt, like I said before, right? So let me show you what this looks like for one of my clients last year in December 2024. He had 8 holidays scheduled, right? 8 holidays scheduled, corporate parties, family dinners, client celebrations, and he was stressed out about gaining weight like he did every other previous year, right? So he'd go up and then go down. So the first thing we did, we tracked everything, not to restrict him, but to give him data and freedom, right? Remember that. We track for freedom, right? And here's what happened with him. So obviously week 1, right? 3 holiday events. He tracked every meal. Total calories during that week was around 20,500, right? So around 2,900 average on a daily. So that turned out to be 90,600, right? Slightly over, but we knew obviously the exact number. No anxiety, no guilt, just data. And then week 2, he had 2 events. He banked the calories Monday to Thursday, eating around 2,200 calories a day. Friday and Saturday, he ate 3,800 to 4,200 at the event. Total weekly calories was 19,200. Under the target, still enjoyed himself fully, right? Obviously. And then week 3, Christmas week, family dinner, Christmas Eve, 3,500 calories a day. Christmas Day, obviously 4,000 calories, quite a lot. Boxing Day had leftovers, 3,000 calories. Rest of the week was around 2,200, right? Total was about 21,500 over target, but he knew he was coming and we was planned for it, right? So we didn't feel too stressed. And then week 4, New Year's week, right? 2 events, back to banking holiday strategy, right? So total we had that week was 90,000, right? And then obviously the total for December was 80,200 calories consumed. Total target was 78,400. So it was around 19,600 times 4, difference only around 1,800 calories over, right? And that's around half a pound of fat gained over those last 13 events, right? Previous years, he didn't track, he gained 8 to 12 pounds every single December. But here's the best part, right? He told me he enjoyed December more than any other previous years because he wasn't carrying that guilt, anxiety to every single event. He knew his numbers, he made intentional choices, and he ate Christmas dinner without just mental spiral afterwards, right? And that's something that a lot of people have, right? And the practical framework for you is this, right? So I'm going to give you a quick overview. So Monday to Thursday, track meticulously, right? Hit your target or have a slight deficit. right? And obviously if your maintenance is 2,800, be below 300 to 400 that, right? And then Friday to Sunday or event days, track honestly, right? But enjoy fully, right? And there's a party to log, right? Log everything you eat at the party if you can, right? Don't guess, don't pretend, just do it, right? Own the 3,500 calories a night and just move on, right? You might go over, that's totally normal. Then week review, right? That's Sunday night, look through a week total. Are you within the 10% of your target? Good enough, move on to the next. Right, just keep moving on. And this is not perfection. This is about strategic, and the awareness is what's going to let you enjoy December without January panic, right? So you see what I'm getting on here? Tracking doesn't have to take that enjoyment away. It gives you permission to enjoy without the guilt spiral. So for section 3, the next principle, and this is crucial for December, start building habits now and build in contingency for chaos, right? Most people make a massive mistake. They write off December entirely. Too many parties, too much going on. I just restart in January. And this is a mistake a lot of people make, and I hear a lot, right? Here's what actually happens with that approach. So you spend 4 weeks eating without any structure, number one, right? You gain 7 to 10 pounds, January 1st arrives, and now you're just starting your fitness journey and you're having to undo everything you just did in that month, right? That damage before you can even make forward progress. So you've already damaged yourself before you've got to January the 1st. And instead, do this, right? Start tracking your calories right now, today, right? This week, and build a buffer time for your chaos you know is coming, right? And this is so simple. I'm going to explain this in a bit more detail. So here's my exact December strategy that I give my private clients when it comes to this time of the month. So week 1 to 2 of December, so early December, right, is obviously you have fewer events usually, right? Track at a maintenance or a small calorie deficit, right? Build that tracking habit when it's easy, right? When you've got events, it's not easy. So bank some, obviously make sure you bank some calories before that chaos hits. So, and then obviously week 3 to 4 December, this is like peak holiday season, right? This is max chaos, right? You got Christmas, you got New Year's, you got family gathering. Just make sure you track your maintenance, right? Or slightly above, right? Use the buffer you built in early December, right? Focus on enjoying your food without completely derailing that progress, right? And then obviously week 1 of January, right? Obviously got New Year's, etc. Right? Continue tracking, right? You're already in a habit from those 4 weeks of December, whilst everyone else is starting, you're continuing, right? And that obviously shifts. If your goal is to still lose weight, right? Shift to a calorie deficit. And this means that during that peak season, holiday season, you will have 5 events in 7 days, right? And you already have the tracking habit built, which is amazing, right? And you're not trying to start new habits during that max chaos sort of season, right? And you're maintaining a habit you've already practiced for the last 2 to 3 weeks, right? And it also means you build a small buffer of progress, right? If you track your maintenance or slight deficit for the first half of December, you create room to be in slightly over during the second half without gaining too much overall weight, right? Because you had that buffer. So let me show you what this looks like in real numbers. So December, we say the 1st to the 15th, you're on your maintenance target, 2,800 a day, right? Actual average is 2,600. So you're in a slight calorie deficit, right? So the total is 39,000 calories for that week, right? Versus you normally consume 42,000 as a target, right? So buffer created was 3,000 calories, right? December the 16th to the 31st, which is peak season, right? The maintenance is 2,800 a day. Your actual average during that season was 2,900 a day because the Christmas feasts were included, right? Total was 46,400 calories, right? Versus 44,800 calories. So you're in a surplus of around 1,600 calories, right? So the net for entire December, consumed was around 85,400. Target was 86,800. So it was only 1,400 calorie deficit despite Christmas, right? You need, like, can you see what I've just done, right? You created a buffer in early December to absorb that Christmas surplus, right? Net result for the month was a small deficit. Most people, they'll gain 3 to 4 pounds. You might have actually lost half a pound, right? So, but more importantly, you enter January with tracking habits that's already 4 weeks old. You're not starting anything, you're continuing that momentum, right? You've built that momentum. And when that happens, you don't have the frantic New Year panic, right? You're not scrambling to undo damage. You're already ahead of the curve, right? You're making progress while everyone else is making promises, right? And that's something that separates you to someone else who doesn't do that. And one of my clients did exactly this last year. Started tracking December the 1st. By January the 1st, he tracked 31 consecutive days through 8 holiday events. And when I asked him how he felt, he said, I don't even think of it anymore, right? And it's just what I do now, right? And that's because it's become part of his lifestyle as well, right? And that's the power of starting in December. You build the habit when everyone else is making excuses. And obviously by the time January comes, you're already winning. So guys, if you've gotten this far into the video, it means you are serious about your health and you definitely relate to some of the things that I went through in this video. So let me quickly summarize what we've just covered. So number one, we set a specific daily calorie target, not eat better, but actual numbers you can track and manage through the holidays, right? And then number two, tracking gives you freedom, not restriction. It eliminates the guilt and anxiety that ruins December every single year, right? And then number three, start now in December, not January. Build the habit when it's challenging so January becomes easy and you're already ahead, right? Everyone wants to be ahead. And then number four, daily tracking compounds. 30 days of practice through the holidays makes it automatic by the time everyone else is making their resolutions. And then number five, corporate events need systems. Pre-event protein loading, strategic calorie banking, and honest estimations afterwards. And then number six, elimination of friction, right? Morning routines, locking, frequent food lists, right? 5 minutes, even in review, right? And then number seven, you can enjoy Christmas dinner and track it, right? You can attend corporate parties and stay on track. These aren't manually exclusive, right? December isn't about deprivation or suffering, right? It's about being strategic so that you can enjoy the holidays with family and colleagues whilst building the foundations for your entire 2026. And now I know that some of you might be thinking, this might sound great, but I've tried tracking my calories before and I've always fell off after a week or two. Or maybe you're thinking, I'm too busy, I don't have time to weigh my food and log in everything. But let me tell you the truth. Every single client I've worked with has had these exact same doubts, right? Every single one of them. And someone who was skeptical about tracking it, tried it, and they ended up having a breakthrough in the end, right? They thought tracking would be restrictive and time consuming, but they found instead was freedom and clarity. The executives I've coached through December, the ones managing demanding careers, they're always traveling for their schedule, they've got multiple holiday events, they all had the same fear, but they also had one thing in common. They committed to the system and they stayed consistent, and they actually enjoyed their holidays more because they weren't carrying constant guilt and anxiety. Now, this isn't magic. It requires consistency, tracking every day, even on Christmas, being honest with your logs, right? Even after a big corporate dinner, right? Sticking with it when motivation fades in a week or two, right? But compared to the crash diets and January panic, the yearly cycle of gaining weight every December and spending 3 months trying to undo the damage, that actually sticks. Because you're not just losing fat, you're building a skill, you're creating awareness, you're developing the identity, right, of someone who can manage their nutrition regardless of what's happening around them, right? So if you want to drop body fat without sacrificing performance at work, right, without living in the gym, without missing out on family holidays and celebrations with the people you actually care about, and you're ready to find a system that fits your actual schedule and your actual life, well, look, I've helped almost 500 people around using the TTT methodology, specifically for busy professionals and executives just like yourself, people who have demanding careers, travel schedules, client dinners, family obligations, people who have unlimited time or have a limited time to spend in the gym or meal prepping on Sundays, people who want results without becoming obsessed or making fitness their entire personality. Right now, if you want direct help in reaching your fitness goals, if you want someone in the corner who understands and the demands that your lifestyle have and can build a system specifically for you, come and book a strategy roadmap call with my team and myself, right? You can check out the description of this video, and on that call will be basically speaking to you directly. One of my members of my team will be there and we'll go over your current situation, where you are now, what you've tried before, what's worked and what hasn't, and we'll clarify your fitness goals, right? And what actually you want to achieve, not just vague get in shape goals, right? But specific targets, and then we'll create a roadmap for you to implement, right? With or without us. Right, this is not a sales pitch, it's a strategy session, right? It's completely free. You'll walk away with clarity on exactly what you need to do, whether you decide to work with us or not, right? If that sounds like something you are interested in, then obviously drop me a DM on Instagram. My handle is in the description below this video. Just send me a message on there saying strategy call and let's have a chat. I'll talk to you on there for a bit. But even if obviously you don't book a call, even if you decide to implement this on your own, right, I'm begging you to just start tracking your calories this December. Right, don't wait until January when you're 5 pounds heavier, starting from behind. Right, build the habit now. Enjoy the holidays, track honestly, and walk into 2026 already winning, whilst everyone else is making promises they won't keep. Right, give this video a like if you're ready to take December seriously, and obviously subscribe to the channel for more strategies designed for professionals who want results without the BS. Right, and comment below, guys, are you going to track your calories today? Let me know, or are you going to wait till January? I just want to know if you're serious or not. Right, and I already know who the winners are going to be. So I'll see you guys in the next video, and guys, you know what time it is? It's time to get ahead. So trust the timing, guys. There's a link in the bio if you guys want to fill out a form, and I'll see you on the call. So cheers.